Hi everyone, I have a little tutorial for you today on how to make an elevator that will stop on any floor you wish. I'll show you how it works first and then I'll show you how to make it afterwards. So, go up to the lectern here, asks you to please select a floor. Let's say we want to go to floor 2. Select floor 2, jump in the elevator, and it brings us up to floor 2. Jump back down, say we want to go to floor 3, turn the page, and up we go, stopping at floor 3. And just to show you it works going back down, go back down to floor 1. And there we are, floor 1. Since we've come this far, I'll show you floor 4 as well. There we go, right up to the top. So, there's a few things that you need to do in order to make this to work. The first of which is you can either use dispensers with empty buckets in, or I guess you could use a piston on top that pushes a block out and stops you from going any further up. That choice is entirely up to you. Very important thing is that all of the individual blocks are in fact water source blocks, so that the bucket can take the water source out, and that gives you a little, let's put it on a different floor so I can show you, floor 3. That gives you an empty pocket to stand in, just here, where there's no source block, so you're not being pushed up anymore, but you won't sink any further down because of the updraft, and you can just hop out. So to accomplish this, the first thing is having a lectern with a book, and the number of pages directly correlates to the power of the output on the redstone. So first things first, you want to have a redstone comparator coming straight off the back of the lectern, and these lamps dictate the distance the signal will travel depending on what page. So I have a 5-page book here, and so there are 5 lanterns. When you're on page 1, the signal output will reach here, page 2 to here, 3 to here, 4 to here, and 5 to there. Once you've figured out the correlation of the page numbers and the redstone power output, you can begin sectioning off each part to make into your floor stoppers, I guess. So I took the challenge upon myself to create my own design. This may have been done by someone else, I'm not sure, but I wanted to try and do it myself with no external help. So if it's done, fair enough. If not, then hopefully I figured this out okay and it's not buggy. So first things first, you have floor 1 here, goes into a redstone comparator. Now the problem is you need the redstone comparator to be on when you want that floor being stopped, like such, so that there's a signal output going up to these dispensers. You need that on so that it sucks the water out and you create that little pocket you can stand in. However, that needs to cancel out when you want floor 2 on. Otherwise, the pocket will still remain and you'll just stop at floor 1. You won't be able to make it to floor 2. So you need something that cancels that. And the way a comparator works is if the signal going into the side is stronger than the back, it will not create an output. So this signal is obviously weaker than one that is right next to a repeater. So you pop a repeater in, then when the strength of the redstone output on page 3, it is able to reach to the next one, the redstone will power this repeater and therefore shut off this circuit, allowing the water to come back and sit nicely there. However, with a dispenser, you can't just have it turning on and off like a lever. It needs to be repowered again to spit the water back out, essentially, for floor 1. You need the empty bucket so you can fly up. But if you have it so that it just turns off straight away when flicking to floor 2, then it'll retain the water in the bucket and you'll still be left with a pocket. So you have to have a delayed charge for after the signal is turned off, and that is what this circuit is for. So it just goes through here. This is what powers it all the time. I'll turn it back to page 1. So this is powered now. However, here you need the delay on this, and that'll become apparent in a second. So you have this, which is a stronger signal than this one, so it doesn't put any output. Here you have a delay, so that when this signal is turned off, it cancels that out and the power begins to disappear from this. As there's no delay on that, it disappears from that first. Therefore, there is nothing stopping the comparator from outputting, as this has a delay on, and so will carry the power for a fraction of a second longer, allowing for a pulse to be emitted and this to be re-triggered. I'll try and demonstrate that here. See if you can see out the corner of the screen. So if I go to floor 2, you see delayed charge allows the bucket to be emptied. Right, and you just do that for each floor that you want. There may be a cleaner, more tidy and more simplistic way of doing this, but this is all I've been able to figure out given the sort of hour or so I gave to it. I'll show you how to make these over here. So this is the lectern with the same book in and the measured out steps, just the first two. The first circuit is nice and simple. So you'll have your lectern here onto a comparator. I'll do it with a bit of a gap. Then your redstone. You don't want to be putting repeaters in because then that will reset the distance and screw up when it will cancel. Otherwise you could put redstone in if you wanted something further away, but you just have to make sure that it doesn't reach far enough in order to activate the next object until the page is increased, if you catch my drift. So here you have your output coming out into a comparator, the signal goes forward. You need a redstone repeater straight after because the signal is very weak, so this just re-strengthens it to go forward. Then you have the cancelling repeater that just turns it off afterwards, and that will, as you can see here, if I go page 1, there you are, it's on. And when I go to page 2, sorry, floor 2, page 3, depends on the distance, that will cancel this circuit, allowing the light to be off. Now when you add in the extra component here that gives it a refire essentially, so that you can reactivate whatever it is you want. If we then go to floor 3, you'll see the light go off and back on very quickly. So there it is, back on, and then floor 3, you see it off and on as the pulse delays and re-triggers that. So we'll make that here, we'll carry it on to this point. I didn't leave myself enough room, so I will just take it back slightly, have it coming off down here, and we'll just do the same thing. So we'll have the same circuit, comparator, repeater, and the cancelling. Then we'll have it coming off forward into a repeater that is massively delayed, as you see. You need the delay on this one, full delay. That comes out and goes to your comparator. Then you have your second repeater here with no delay on, and that allows them to be side by side, which makes it a little more compact. Then this goes out to another repeater. You can have a delay on that. I think it's best to put a delay on because you want the trigger to be timed long enough after so that it's not still on. You need it to definitely turn off and then back on. And then you have your basic initial input when it's powered. And I'll show you that again now. So back to floor 2. You can see it reaches here. Power isn't enough to reach this one, which would cancel the circuit and turn it off. So it's still going through here. Again, this is powered and it's stronger so that there's no output from this at all. It's just being basically powered through this part here. Very nice and simple. Then once you go to page 3, you see that here, the pulse turns off. No delay on this, so it switches off from here instantly. Delay on this so that it still has some power pushing through. And then once that's off and this is on, you get another extra burst that is delayed through to give a second trigger on the output. So it's as simple as that. I'm sure there are many great uses for this, or better ways to do it most likely as well. But this is all that I've been able to think up. Let me know if you managed to find any ways of refining this or putting this to good use. I'd love to hear it. and I hope this was useful. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.